So this week on my quest to see what food from history tastes like, I'm recreating a peach marmalade recipe from 1597. And I'm also going to look at my 3 favourite marmalade facts from food history. Okay, I love food with a good story. History. I'm an idiot. Who doesn't want to try what the first meal on the moon tasted like? Or the time that Paris ate all of its zoo animals for Christmas? That's actually an upcoming episode. But sometimes I really just want to try a recipe from history because it just sounds delicious. So that's why this week I'm trying a Tudor recipe for peach marmalade. There isn't a huge story behind this particular dish, but not to brag, I've found some pretty interesting marmalade facts from history. So we're also going to talk through some marmalade facts while we give peach marmalade a try. Okay, so this recipe comes from the second half of the Good Housewife's Jewell. To make dry marmalade of peaches. Take your peaches and pare them and cut them from the stones. So marmalade fact number 1. The first recorded shipment of marmalade arriving in England came from a Portuguese ship in 1495. So it would have been more like a dried fruit paste than what the likes of Paddington comes to understand as marmalade today. I'm going to do quite a lot here because although the recipe is good for the period and gives you a good sense of ratios between peach and sugar, like many recipes of the period, it doesn't give you exact quantities. So guesswork is needed. Right, so now we have our peaches. So after we've cut them from the stones, we're told to mince them very finely. That sounds very time consuming. What have we got that can help? You! I've got to add you. It's the juicer that I bought in a slightly aspirational mood years ago. It wasn't properly inserted, so that's definitely just try to juice the plastic. That sounds better. Let's try that again. Then we have peach juice. Oh, I just want to drink that. So now we've minced our peaches very finely, we need to steep them in rosewater. Never actually cooked with rosewater before, but the last time I used something similar, I had to make ice cream with orange blossom water, and it just tasted like I was eating some ice cream that was made by Lush. It's got an interesting perfume to it. I want to be very sparing with this, I'm just going to put about a tablespoon in. Now we come to the marmalade making part of it. You must have to every pound of peaches, half a pound of sugar finely beaten. Let's measure here. Okay, so that's 2, so I need a pound of sugar. Let's have another marmalade fact. Marmalade fact 2. Marmalade was once used in a plot against the king. In 1543, an English bishop wrote to King Henry VII, telling him about clashes between the British and Spanish ships at Seville. This is quite a lot. And the bishop wrote down that a group of people were trying to send the king a costly consignment of marmalade, given to him by the naughty friars of Seville. I don't know why they were so naughty, possibly because the marmalade boxes were supposed to contain things of danger and great peril. I don't know how perilous marmalade can be, but I really want to know what was in those boxes. So we've got our peach and rosewater and our sugar. And then it tells us to put it into your pan that you do boil it in. Marmalade fact number 3. Marmalade became a big symbol of recovery in World War II. Get out my jam thermometer. I always forget I have this. So in the UK during World War II, we sometimes got shipments of oranges from America. And when we did get orange shipments in, they were reserved exclusively for rationing to children. So most families looking for a bit of culinary nostalgia came up with alternatives like carrot marmalade and things that used vegetables with a bit of a natural sweetness to them instead. In 1945, the first cafe to reopen in post-war Warsaw in Poland, it had a bit of difficulty, so the only thing that they had on the menu at the start was marmalade, bread and cherry leaf tea, which, to be fair, also sounds delicious. Okay, here we go. In terms of carrot marmalade, the US actually tried the same thing. In 1918, the Food Administration published guidance for how to make sweet things without sugar, like carrot marmalade, all in a bid to help World War I. Sticking with World War I, there was actually, I read, a British soldier who was stationed in Turkey at the time, who was complaining that another soldier's marmalade was the only thing making the Gallipoli bread edible. Every time I make a jam, this happens to me. It's hovering at about a degree underneath what my thermometer says jam should be, so once again, this may go tits up. A little while later, we're greeted with a hot, steamy peach jam. So this is where the definition of marmalade has evolved since. Marmalade at this point is more like a dry paste, kind of like a quince jelly you get on the cheese board. So it tells us that once cooked, you should put it in a mould and let it stiffen up, basically. This then begs the question of what mould to use. Oh, Jesus. All right, got a bunny. What the hell's that? An elf? I don't know. These are all quite Christmas themed. Yeah, not using that. This was from the time I tried to make fish shaped like potato, from the episode on when the French thought that potatoes give you leprosy. Christmas, Christmas, penis, Christmas, more, but why are there 2 sets of penis ones? All right, there's an adorable heart, let's use that. And let's just go with a boring circle too. So I'm gonna try just pouring a little bit into the mold, hoping it doesn't spill out. Then I'm gonna put these into the fridge to set. So, gonna leave that to cool. So given I've got some time to kill, let's have the last marmalade fact. In the 19th century, one journalist recommended that marmalade should be eaten with roast beef. So in 1893, the Daily Telegraph newspaper in England published a guide on what should be included in a traditional high tea. For most people today, high tea is a special occasion filled with lots of little sandwiches and cakes and tea. But this journalist proposed that standard fare should include pickled salmon, or roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, as well as soused mackerel. That does not sound delicious. So I'm gonna leave this to cool. And 3, 2, 1. So, things haven't quite turned out as expected. The lovely moulds I was trying to make, they just haven't set. Basically, quince jelly, this is not. However, by modern definitions of marmalade, it's spreadable. So even though it hasn't set like I'd hoped, we've got some pretty tasty looking peach marmalade. I kind of want to spread it on toast, but I kind of also want to just try some. Oh. It's so sweet, it's really tasty. Let's try some on toast. That's basically just peach syrup. That was heavenly. Peach marmalade, who knew? I'm not gonna lie, I think peach marmalade might give oranges a run for their money. I clearly needed to boil it a bit longer, do something to make it less than a sort of liquid consistency. I don't know if I want to spread it on toast or make a cocktail out of it, but either way, I'm gonna eat the hell out of this.